Jeff Townsend Media. It's a huge, incredible, tremendous platform. It's not stupid and it's not fake news. Lots of money. Believe me, it's the best.
Luke, how's it going, dude?
Good.
Believe me, it's the best.
Yeah.
Love it. We'll give it just a minute to let people file in here. How are we sounding? Viv Games, and I don't even know what that username is now.
It's a quite a long one.
What is that username? Ladi da ta ta tada TV? What the? It must be some joke that no one knows about.
Yeah.
I don't know. What was the old username?
CX Clips or something like that.
CX Clips. I miss CX Clips. That's a good one. It was easier to say. Coming in clear too. That's good to hear. We are live, letting people come in here. We'll give it just another 30 seconds. We'll get going on this Valentine's Day themed event. I'm excited, man. It's been a while.
Yeah. Life.
I dropped the ball last night. My apologies, everybody. I dropped the ball last night. I just wasn't ready.
It's all right.
I could have rushed it, I guess, but I didn't want to.
Yeah, it's not as good then.
Still shorter, thanks, Luke. It's shorter than CX Clips?
Oh, that my name, John Daly Programmer.
Oh, shorter than yours?
Yeah. That's fair.
All is fair. We'll give it just another second here. Let people file in, then we're going to get going. We have people on, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram.
Nice.
Yeah, Instagram's separate. We got shafted by the old TikTok. They took away my stream key, so I can't stream to that using this software. Nor do I have a PC that can handle multiple streams on the same device. So, they just get shafted for now. They really like to get me on that app. I don't know why. They send me these invites to these like rewards, creator rewards program, then they kick me out of all the stuff and they take away all my tools to do it. Yeah.
It's so weird.
It's weird. It's like I should ban it myself,
Yeah, maybe they'll get bought by someone who will work with you.
The crazy part was when CapCut got banned too. Low key, I was like, I don't know if you ever use CapCut, but I was like, dang, because I use it to throw a lot of quick things together. And when it got banned, I was like, damn it.
I had never used that, but I had heard other people say they used it and said good things about it. So,
all right,
I'm ready.
I think we can get going. I mean, I feel good about it. You feel good about it?
Oh yeah.
I'll kick us off here. All right. This is Jeff Townsend, and you are joining yet another live stream of Your Scary Stories, this show where we share your scary stories live on a stream every month, I guess, ish. When we can. How are you doing, Luke? Thanks for joining this evening.
Doing good. Been looking forward to it. Things happen, and sometimes you have to do little delays here and there, but I'm looking forward to doing this one tonight.
Yeah, work is absolutely slaying me at the moment, so it's been interesting. I used CapCut. I didn't know it got banned. Yeah, CapCut is owned by the same company that owns TikTok. So that and a handful of other apps got banned, but the TikTok came back first. The other ones didn't come back right away. It took a few days. So CapCut just came back today. So good to have it back. It's a nice, easy task for editing. The Adobe, those softwares are nice, but they're not quite as convenient, as just getting on and doing something real quick.
Yeah.
So, man, today, everybody's saying Happy New Year. Yeah, Happy New Year, everybody. We haven't talked to you since the very New Year's Eve episode, right, where we covered the recap of our favorite stories of the year. That's the last time we streamed, right?
Yeah, it was. It was a lot of fun too.
That was a fun one, just going back and looking at everything. Yeah, there were some crazy stories that first year, though.
There definitely was.
That is wild. I'm excited tonight because it is a Valentine's Day theme episode, and you are not dressed up for the first time in months.
Yeah, I remembered like 2 days ago that I was like, oh crap, I should have got like something, but I didn't.
I was curious. Like, I don't know what you would even do. So I was like, is he gonna like paint himself red? Like, I didn't really know what extremes you'd go to this stream.
I should have done something, and yeah, I dropped the ball on that one.
Yeah, it's all right. We could get you. We understand. So yeah, like I said, all Valentine's Day themed stories tonight. I think I have 3. You have 2 decent ones, right? You've got 2, and it's the same story, right? Or
Yeah, so it's just a giant story broke into 2 parts. So
that'll be fun.
yeah,
That's something I usually do, right? So you have the privilege of doing that. So
yeah, it's a little bit out of my wheelhouse to do that. So we'll see what happens.
well, I can kick things off. I have no problem doing that. So let's get the music going. The settings
Alrighty.
here are a little bit different, so let me find it. Where's it at here? You hear me? Not yet. Gotta give it a second. It's not coming through yet. It should be in a second. Are we good now?
Good now.
All right, the music has started, and I will kick things off with the first Valentine's Day story tonight. I'm excited. This is called Airbnb Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day, my boyfriend Liam and I decided to do something different. Instead of the usual dinner and movie, we thought, hey, why not rent an Airbnb? You know, for some romantic vibes. But trust me, this ain't your typical Valentine's Day story. Buckle up, because this is going to be one heck of a ride that'll give everybody the creeps. We found this cute little cabin in the woods. Seemed perfect. Fireplace, cozy vibes, the whole deal. We get there and the place is exactly what it looked like in the pictures. Sweet start to the weekend, if you ask me. Night falls and we're in the living room wrapped up in blankets, enjoying the warmth of the fireplace. Then we hear a knock at the door. Now keep in mind, we're in the middle of nowhere and it's late. So this is kind of weird. Liam looks at me and I can see the confusion in his eyes. Who the heck is knocking on the door at this hour? I go to the door thinking maybe the owner forgot something, but when I open it, there's no one there. Just the cold night air and the sound of leaves rustling in the wind. Weird, right? I shake it off thinking it's just the woods playing tricks on me. We go back to our romantic cocoon that we were in. Then it happens again. Another knock. This time Liam goes to check it out. He opens the door, looks around, and nada. Nothing. Now we're starting to feel a little bit uneasy. Maybe someone's messing with us. Maybe we're just hearing things. I mean, it's a cabin in the woods. Strange noises are par for the course, right? We decide to forget about it and get ready for bed. That's when we hear footsteps outside clear as day. Crunching leaves, like someone's pacing around the cabin. We freeze. Liam grabs a flashlight, opens the door, and shines it into the darkness. Nothing. Not a soul in sight. But the footsteps, they're still there, circling the cabin. At this point, we're actually freaked out. We're in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by trees, and there's someone or something lurking outside the cabin. We debate calling the owner, but it's late, and we don't want to seem like a paranoid lunatic renters. We decide to hunker down, lock all the doors and windows, and try to get some shut-eye. But as we lay there, the footsteps continue, and now we hear whispers, like hushed voices outside the walls. We can't make out what they're saying, but it's keeping us the hell freaked out. I grab my phone, ready to dial 911, but then it goes silent. No more footsteps. No more whispers. We're left in sheer stillness and silent, wondering if we imagine the whole thing. Morning comes and we're both exhausted. We didn't get a bit of sleep, and the sunlight streaming through the cabin windows feels like a relief due to the circumstances. We decide to check out early. Maybe it's just some bizarre night in the woods and we can just laugh about it later. As we're packing up, there's a knock at the door. Not the creepy, mysterious knocks from last night, but a regular human knock, if that makes sense. Liam opens the door and there's this guy standing there, middle aged, disheveled. Seems like he just stumbled out of the woods. He mumbles something about being lost and he asks if we can give him a ride to town. Now, we're not heartless, but this is just weird. He looks like he's been out here for days. No car, nothing. We politely decline, saying we've got plans and need to hit the road. The guy just stares at us. This intense gaze that sends shivers down my spine. He finally nods, turns around, and disappears back into the trees of the woods. We watch him go into the woods, and the moment he's out of sight, the footsteps start again. Like all of a sudden, he's still pacing around there. We hightail it out of the cabin, tossing our keys back into the lockbox, not even bothering to leave a note for the owner. The drive back is silent. We're both trying to process what happened, but it doesn't make any sense. Who was that guy, and what was he doing out there in the dead of the night? We never reported it or anything. It's one of those experiences that you just want to forget about, but it lingers in the back of your mind. Valentine's Day turned into a creepy adventure, and now every time I hear a knock at the door or footsteps outside my window, I can't help but wonder if it's that guy from the woods again.
Wow. That's a creepy story.
Yeah, just think about this. So you set up this romantic scene, right?
Yeah.
We're going to this Airbnb. It's going to be a special night. And then you start hearing these things.
Good Lord. Oh man. So I love so many things about this story. One thing is like this whole cabin in the woods that he rented from Airbnb. Our family rents a large cabin for Christmas every year out in the woods, and it's a lot of fun to be out there. But yeah, if you're out up in the morning around 2 or 3 a.m., you're looking out these big bay windows out into this woodlands. You're always like, God, I hope I don't see someone out there when or hear someone walking around the outside of the building. But it's always in the back of my head, like, that could happen out here. I don't know these people.
Yeah.
So,
and I've actually watching the news and stuff lately. There are a lot of people that strongly dislike the renters of these short-term rentals.
yeah.
Example, Airbnb. And a lot of people have been complaining and doing such weird things to upset the people that are renting, because the people that are renting often are partying and doing stuff like that. So some people are really against this.
Yeah, it also drives up the property tax value in the area. So, like, a lot of people are mad about how much more they're paying just to live in the same area they've always had been. So that makes people do crazy things. And yeah, I've seen a few things too, and it's all crazy stuff. So that could have been what's going on here. I don't know. Maybe it was a couple guys. Definitely seems like more than one person. Just because
You think it was the guy that came out and said he wanted to ride, or that was just a coincidence?
I think he was definitely involved. And I think there was probably another person though. And
Yeah. Would it creep you out?
oh, definitely, yeah. I would have yeah, definitely not giving that guy a ride. Definitely don't ever do that. That was a good idea. And just get out of there because
Yeah.
that's too much.
It's not a very complicated, like crazy story, but it's pretty
No.
creepy. You'd remember it, like spending your Valentine's Day with your loved one doing that, you know?
Yeah, you're definitely not forgetting that one. You also
Probably wanted to rob the place or something. Somebody said, yeah, but what's in an Airbnb? You know, I don't know. Do you leave a bunch of valuables in there even, or just TVs and stuff
sometimes,
maybe? But
yeah.
you're not gonna have
Sometimes,
a bunch of, like, some people like lock up their stuff in a room and stuff, I've heard, but
yeah. Wow. That was a good one to start off with too, because it was pretty much simple, good
Yeah.
paced story. It was a great story for a starter, and the whole time I was like, this is eerie. I feel very uncomfortable with this whole situation, and oh man, I loved it.
Somebody's asking, what if it was the owner and he did it to get people out early and still get paid in full?
Oh yeah, that actually that's some Scooby Doo stuff right there.
That's so Scooby Doo. But I mean, there are a lot of scams involving this stuff, though.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Awesome
Uh,
story to kick the night off.
yeah,
I
that's
think
crazy. Yeah, that
we're
was
live across several platforms here. We have people on Instagram. We have people on Facebook, Twitch, Kick, YouTube, LinkedIn, and X. X gonna give it to you.
nice. That's a good one.
Yeah. So
Oh,
we're live all across. Unfortunately, if you watch this on TikTok, you are screwed
for now anyway.
for now anyway, until they take away my stuff, but that's okay.
Yeah.
This is a good story though, man. And like I said, like once again, Valentine's Day theme, every story here. We just kicked it off with a story of a creepy cabin in the woods. And,
That was such a
I
good
just,
one.
yeah, I mean, I could see wanting to go out and do that for sure, but yeah, I would. Knowing my luck, it would end worse though. So
Yeah, it would probably be a shootout.
yeah, Vin Diesel. Did Viv Games just reference a Vin? I haven't thought about Vin Diesel in a long time.
Yeah, no, I actually just watched Triple X like a month ago.
Really? Wow.
That was the first time I ever saw it. I got roped into
It
watching
was.
it.
What did we watch back in the day with? It was probably something else.
Yeah, we watched
Was
a
it
few
Pitch?
of his shows.
Was it like Pitch Black or something like that?
Yeah, we watched Pitch Black.
Yeah,
Sure.
he was on that. It was a good movie. I don't know
Yeah,
why we're talking about Vin Diesel. Then there was, of course, CX Clip's favorite movie, The Pacifier. But
yeah,
another story for another time. We will go on to your story, which is the second story of the night. This is a one of a two-parter extended story. I'm excited. Let me get the music going for you.
sounds good.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
You are good now.
Alrighty. So, like most people, when I think of Valentine's Day, the first thing that pops in my head is the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. So that's what I'm going to be talking about tonight. And to get a good idea of the severity of the St. Valentine's Day Massacre and what it meant to the area, I'm going to give some backstory on the people involved, namely Al Capone of the Southside Gang, also known as the Chicago Outfit, and his underlings, and then Bugs Moran and his people from the Northside Gang. Now, at the start of Prohibition, Northside Gang quickly took control of all the existing breweries and distilleries in the north side of Chicago. That gave them a total monopoly on real beer and high quality whiskey. The Southside Gang had to use moonshine and cheaper liquors that they diluted down. There was always hostility between Irish and Italian gangs. The Northsiders were almost entirely Irish, and the Southsiders were all Italian. The Northside Gang's leader at the time was a man named Dean O'Banion, and he flat out refused to sell anything to the Southsiders, which caused some fighting. There were several meetings arranged by Southside Gang boss Johnny Torrio. Al Capone was the right-hand man of Johnny Torrio at the time. During those meetings, Dean O'Banion would often insult the Italians straight to their faces instead of even beginning to work with them. After several failed attempts to broker peace, Johnny Torrio decided to put out a hit on Dean O'Banion. 4 shooters entered Dean O'Banion's flower shop and killed him. This was the beginning of a 5-year gang war. This gang war would eventually be capped off what would become known as St. Valentine's Day Massacre. The two gangs bombed each other. They shot each other up for months and months. And they eventually decided, the Northsiders decided they were going to get revenge for Dean O'Banion and attempted to kill Johnny Torrio. He survived, but he fled to Brooklyn, leaving Al Capone in charge of the Chicago gang. At this point, it was down to the 2 leaders of Bugs Moran and Al Capone. they decided to host a peace conference. All the other mob bosses showed up. During the conference, Capone complained they were making a shooting gallery of great businesses. He also stated that Chicago should be seen as a pie, and each gang gets a slice of the pie. The two gangs agreed to make peace. This peace would last for a while, during which there was no killings. However, conflict eventually started again. Bugs Moran, seeing that he could kind of play it off for a little bit, he would hijack Al Capone's beer shipments. This aggravated Capone. Capone retaliated by burning down Bugs Moran's dog track. A few days later, Capone's dog track was burnt down. He knew it was Bugs Moran getting revenge. Then they started having open gang warfare again. The tipping point was Bugs Moran ordered the execution of two Union leaders who were allies of Al Capone. Now, this part has never been proven because no one ever did any much investigation on this, but this was believed to be the day that Al Capone ordered the St. Valentine's Day massacre to happen. During this time, there was some public outcry about the gang violence, but nothing. It was be one person dead here, one person dead there, a business blown up here, but no one dead, stuff like that. So no one was getting too into it. They weren't really investigating it. Plus, the Chicago police force was being paid off by both gangs to look the other way. The federal government entirely never stepped in during all this because it was so sporadic. But the St. Valentine's Day massacre, which will occur in 1929, February 14th, was so severe, so many dead people at once, that no one could turn a blind eye. And I will actually do all the rest of that in the next part.
Jump back in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, way to get the story going there. Prohibition brought out the worst in everybody, didn't it?
It did. What it allowed is a few people to make an unreasonable amount of money on a thing that everybody wanted. Like everybody wanted alcohol.
The names, these names are awesome. Bugs.
Yeah. Bugs, Moran, Al Capone, like they all sound like made up gangster names, and they were just because that was their names.
Chicago. I have a friend listening that's I think from Chicago or lived in Chicago.
Oh,
nice. That's a crazy area.
There is I've always wanted to visit some of these locations because like there's a lot of walking tours of some of these things in Chicago and stuff like that. So that's definitely something I want to do eventually, is visit a lot of these areas. Of course, a lot of them got bulldozed over the years. In fact, the place where the massacre took place is no longer there now. It's been completely bulldozed and rebuilt. But there's a mafia museum that has a lot of the bricks that have like the bullet holes in it from the massacre. I want to check that out. Yeah.
It's off topic completely, but let me give you a little unknown fact from anybody outside the area in which we are from. There was an event there. I don't remember the year, the Valentine's Day massacre, and my grandfather was a police officer for the local police department, and there was a robbery that had happened, and they pulled this car over from a normal traffic stop, and he shot and killed the cop that pulled him over. Now here's the crazy part. So there were two cops that went east and two cops that went west. My grandfather went west, in the cops that went east, one of them is actually the one that pulled that car over.
Wow.
So,
that's nuts.
Yeah, they're on the other side of town. So in theory, it could have been different if, based on that time of the day, or because they kind of rotate areas throughout the shift. But that's nothing to do with this story in particular. But that's like our local, where we grew up, Valentine's Day massacre.
That's nuts. Yeah. That's that's a good one to bring up. Man, yeah,
But the point is that part of its name has to come from this what we're talking about now, right?
yeah, because this became like, everyone says this is their version of it. Like they have like a big shooting that happens on that day. They've all been named after this one, happened in 1929. Was the year, and so
Rough year out there, folks. If you're listening, 1929 was a rough year.
yeah.
What else happened in 1929, Viv Games? Tell us while we continue on with this chat. So yeah, Prohibition brought out the worst in people by far.
Yeah,
I think it really put people in a position, like you said, some really did well from it financially,
yeah,
and other people were not so much. But then there were people that were just offended by it.
yeah.
Like this is a major thing to be done.
Yeah, and we see some stuff like this today with different things that are prohibited, and that there's these illegal industries that breed gang warfare of various types still today. Maybe
Significant stock market crash in 1929 also.
well,
That might add to some tension with this event, huh?
I didn't realize that was the same year. Well, I should have, but anyway, as Viv actually pointed out earlier, this is also sort of an American history story. So
For sure.
it's like a crossover episode.
Back from yeah. Gosh, that was such a good show, man. I miss that show sometimes. Well, first reason I miss it because I didn't have to do shit for the show. That was freaking amazing. But just ask you questions, Viv Games and I. That was that was fun, dude. There were some crazy characters in that, and there's some crazy characters in this story that you're talking about now.
Yeah. If we ever do
let's talk about the targeting of the dog tracks. So these are dog racing tracks?
Yeah, dog racing tracks. Is
that still a big thing in the gangs of Chicago?
Well, probably not today. At the time, it was definitely a good money laundering because you had people showing up there with bags of cash to, bet with, and then you could cycle your money through and stuff like that.
Why not horses? Why is dogs? I didn't even know dogs raced.
Well, a dog track is much smaller than a horse track. So,
a dog is much smaller than a horse.
Yeah. So you could fit like that in a town, like a city like Chicago. You wouldn't be able to fit a horse track out there.
Chi-town.
Yeah.
That's a cool story. It's cool that you're covering this. Honestly, it's like one of those things where as time passes, you kind of forget. You don't think about it as much. So it's really cool to bring up like historical significant event.
Yeah.
As it relates to this day.
And the next part will be dealing with the actual massacre itself and the fallout from it, which is interesting. And also, like, I don't know, I like stories. I like our crazy, scary stories where, again, we talk about ghosts and monsters. Those are really fun. This one, we 100% know this happened.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. A little bit more than a creepy cabin in the woods, right?
Yeah.
You start messing with bugs, man, you're in trouble.
Yeah. Good old Bugs Bunny.
Just burn down each other's dog tracks. That's like how you get back. I'll show you. You'll see.
Burn down your dog tracks.
Did Chicago have the Great Fire too, right?
Yeah, they did.
Pretty risky,
Yeah.
Man,
I hope the dogs weren't in the track.
Yeah, I don't know. But point being that they had no regard for anybody's safety. Bugs versus Button. Oh my gosh. I don't know who would win that one. Buttons. What was his name? Button's first name?
I can't remember now.
But he just wanted to blow up every British thing, right? That was his thing. Ships and cargo. He wanted to blow stuff up, right?
And then there was the book about him called Button.
Gosh, what was his first name? Button. Gosh, he had a good.
I will look it up real fast because it
was a cool first name. I feel like.
Yeah, it was.
Gosh, Button. Now I gotta know.
Yeah, 1 second here. Button is. Well, heck. Where the heck is it?
Well, heck, I can't even find it.
I can't either. It's
Viv Games ain't helping you out either, is he? He's letting you hang yourself.
Oh man, yeah. Well, now I look at stupid. I can't find it for some reason.
Viv, come
We
on.
did a whole episode on this guy.
We did.
I can't remember his name.
He was so crazy. That dude just wanted to just take out
Yeah.
the Button was his first name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, me. I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know what to circle back on that. What a great story, though. Check out that
Yeah.
episode of America Stories. Button's
Yeah.
Revenge.
Button's Revenge. Yeah, and he's probably
Yeah,
gonna burn
those
down.
guys, they all had a personal agenda, right? And that's like this story. It's very personal.
Yeah, and
And
this
you'll
is
go through anybody to get your point across.
oh yeah, and they hated each other from day one because Northsiders had all the alcohol and Southsiders
North
had nothing.
Side. That's still a thing. That is still
Yeah.
a thing in Chicago. North Side, South Side.
Yeah,
The
particularly
town I went to
North
college
Side.
in, it was East West. But yeah, that's very much so a thing still in Chicago. North, South Side.
Button Gwinnett.
Button Gwinnett.
Yep.
Legend. R.I.P. Button. All right. So let me get the music going again. I'm going to have the second story of the night.
Sounds good.
Let me know when you can hear me. Still not yet.
No,
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Oh, we are good to go. All right, we're good. We'll get going. This is called My Creepy Valentine. It all started on the 7th of February. The small independent coffee shop I was working for had decided to throw up a bunch of decorations for Valentine's Day. So myself and a few of my colleagues had spent pretty much an entire shift putting up pink and red decorations, writing romantic quotations around the edges of our blackboard menu, and other romantically themed things. It was a fun way to spend a shift. I clocked out and began the short walk back to my flat. I began to experience a slight bit of loneliness, knowing I'd be single and alone on this day, Valentine's Day. I considered Tinder or Bubble, but I didn't know if that was a good way to bag a date or not. But the chances of me securing a good date and meeting a nice boy that I genuinely liked over a 7-day period were slim chances to none. So I knew I would be by myself on yet another Valentine's Day. But when I got home, I found a pink envelope in my mailbox. I must admit that it brought a little smile to my face. A secret admirer, maybe? Like something right out of a cheap romantic paperback book. That might not be every girl's dream. However, to be honest with you, it really did cheer me up. Even if it was just from a friend or the nice lady that lived on the ground floor flat below me. When I opened up the thing, the first thing I saw is all it said was 7 days to go. No romantic message, no kisses or hearts, just those 3 words, wrote hastily on the paper inside. It's then I realized there's nothing on the envelope or paper that contained any information that would tell me what address it came from. There's actually no name on nothing or no address at all. It started to feel a little bit silly at that point in time. Like, what if it wasn't meant to be to me at all? What if someone had sent their little Valentine's Day card put it in the wrong mailbox? I told myself I was just being silly, but kept the envelope and card as I walked upstairs to my flat and got on with my evening. I honestly think I'd forgotten about the whole thing by the next morning, but when I got home the following day, this was a stark reminder that it was no mistake. Arriving back at my flat, I checked my mail to find yet another pink envelope inside. Not only that, but a small brown paper package was stuffed inside too. Again, I have to admit being kind of excited about the whole thing. There definitely hadn't been a mistake of address or anything. I mean, the person must have put all the stuff in there by themselves. Maybe I really did have a secret admirer, and that Valentine's Day was going to become something out of a fairy tale or a movie like that. But as soon as I opened the package, I knew something wasn't quite right inside. Inside was a small brown teddy bear. Only it wasn't newly bought nor had it been looked after very well. It was obviously aged and grubby, and its existence, to be frank, could have been a long time, maybe decades even. I'm not sure. It was filthy. It looks like it had never been washed. The fur was all grimy and matted together, and one of the glass eyes was missing, probably having been pulled out by a child years before. The note inside the envelope was pretty much the same as the last one, only this time it read, 6 days to go. That's about the time that I realized that whoever was sending these wasn't exactly all there, and what had previously been a kind of giddy excitement turned into nervous anticipation. And the more I let my mind dwell on it, the more and more frightened I became. This wasn't going to be some dream romance. In fact, it was more likely to be the polar opposite. I told a friend at work about the whole thing, and they seemed to take it much more serious than I had. They told me I obviously had a stalker or something, and even if this person was doing this stuff out of affection, it was still crossing the line, and I should consider contacting the police. But to tell them what exactly? That I had a note addressed from no one with no address and no other details or information on that I found in my mailbox? Alright, it wasn't exactly the romantic gestures I think all the girls crave, but at the same time, I felt that calling the cops would be kind of cruel and a bit extreme in this scenario. But after returning home that evening, I didn't feel so apprehensive about contacting the police. I arrived home again, and just as I expected, in my mailbox, yet another note. This time reading, yeah, you guessed it, 5 days to go. Excuse me. I stormed up to my apartment, grabbed a piece of notebook paper and a Sharpie, and wrote out something along the lines of, whoever this is, putting stuff in my mailbox. It was sweet at first, but now it's kind of creepy. No more, or I'll call the police. I made an effort to not come across too rude or aggressive, but I also needed to make it clear that I really didn't appreciate their unwanted attention. I taped the note to the front entrance of my apartment building before I went to bed, hoping whoever it was would get the message and leave me alone.
Hey, sorry, you're breaking up. I'm not sure what happened.
Okay, what's the last thing you heard?
It was just after she wrote the note out. It started like crackling when you talked.
That's okay. Okay, here. Okay, grabbed a piece of notebook paper and a Sharpie and wrote out something along the lines of, whoever this is.
It's still crackling for some reason. I don't know if the mic.
Is it crackling for you, Viv?
Yeah, it sounds
Viv
like
Games. Test Viv Games.
Looks like you said it sounds crackling.
Audio problems, sounds crackling. Still crackling for me. Weird. Oh boy.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the mic went nuts on you or not.
I don't know. Am I still crackling now?
Yes, you are.
What about now?
Yeah.
Still crackling?
Yeah. It's like when you talk, it starts crackling again. Only when you're talking, though.
Okay. Weird. Did it just start doing that out of nowhere? Is it still doing it when I'm talking?
Yes, it is.
Let's try one other thing. Yeah, it's louder than the voice almost, somebody said.
Yeah.
Literally just started doing this?
Yep, just did. Right in the middle.
Let's kill the music and see if that helps at all.
Yeah.
The music was associated with it at all.
No?
Am I still crackling? Am I still crackling? Can you still hear
Yes, you are.
crackling?
Yeah.
All right, hold on. Once I kill this mic, it's probably not going to let me change the settings on it.
Just be clear, it's not me either. It's just your Viv.
Yeah, you're not crackling at all, so that's why I didn't know I even had a problem.
Yeah, it just happened. Yeah.
Totally random, still crackling though. What the heck? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but still got the crackle.
Probably just killed it. Am I back?
You're back, but I still got the crackle. It almost
Weird.
Yeah, it almost sounds like I don't know what to describe that as.
I don't know if I leave if it'll still stream or not.
Hmm.
Hold on.
Yep.
Settings, audio. It's so weird to just start doing that out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I changed the settings. It's still doing it now. Still crackling.
Still crackling. You're quiet.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's still crackling though. Might kill the stream, everybody. I'm sorry. There's a lot of people watching, so I'm gonna leave.
Yeah.
White, what he said.
Well, while we're waiting.
This. YOLO, right?
Yep. Here we go. I'm still here, so if everyone can still see me, let me know, and then we can see if we still have the stream going. All right, so that's good.
I'm back.
So the stream kept going, and
I'm still crackling.
no, you're not crackling anymore.
Crackling anymore?
Yeah.
Are you sure I'm not crackling anymore?
No crackles.
Should I even turn on the music or not? I'll try it.
Yeah, you can try it.
I got all night. I'll try it. I got all night. Okay, let's go here.
Yeah. Viv says you sound good.
Okay, we'll let the music start up here. Then I'll get back at it. Thanks for jumping in and telling me.
Yeah. All right.
Am I good now?
You're good.
I sound okay. Okay. I arrived back home that evening again to find exactly what I expected to find in my mailbox. Another note, this time reading, yeah, you guessed it, 5 days to go. I stormed up to my apartment, grabbed a piece of notebook paper and a Sharpie, and wrote out something along the lines of, whoever is leaving stuff in my mailbox, it was sweet at first, but now it's creepy. No more, or I'll call the police. I made an effort not to come across too rude or aggressive, but I also needed to make it clear that I didn't really appreciate their unwanted attention. I taped the note to the front entrance of my apartment building before I went to bed, hoping whoever it was would get the message and leave me alone. So, little side note, I get a shower before bed every night without fail. I'm almost sort of a clean freak. I keep my bathroom pretty much spotless, so as I finish getting washed, something catches my eye. Something that might not even gain the attention of most people. But to me, it stuck out like a sore thumb. A flash of color in what an otherwise pristine white bathroom on the window ledge was a tiny glass dome shape. I approached it curiously, peering down at it for a few moments before I completely freaked out and ran out of the bathroom to call the cops. It was a small glass eye with a tiny bit of fabric on it on the back side of it. I recognized it almost instantly as the missing eye from the teddy bear that I found in my mailbox. While I was on the phone with the police, I realized a few things about my creepy Valentine. As I said, I get a shower every evening before bed. I like hot showers, the steamier the better. So naturally the bathroom window spends a lot of time open to get out the moisture. Whoever managed to put the glass eye on the bathroom window ledge had known my evening routine. They had obviously been watching me for a long time, long enough to work out the exact place to put something and the exact time to do it. But it was their method that really creeped me out. They used the small teddy bear eye to tell me in so many words that they were watching me. I swapped the note I had written for a new note that simply read, "The police have been contacted. Leave me alone." And the person did. But the whole thing had a pretty serious effect on my psyche for a long time afterwards. Sometimes I'd find myself staring at someone in the coffee shop or someone on the street walking past my flat, wondering if it was them. If one day one of them were to look over at me and I'd know the person hadn't given up trying to contact me yet.
Wow. That was super creepy. That last part with the eye, glass eye thing. Good Lord.
Yeah, we just had a jump in viewership. But yeah, I don't know if you caught the whole story, but creepy Valentine, I started leaving the most creepy notes ever.
Yeah,
Just saying what 7 days to go, 6 days to go.
you guessed it. 5 days to go. That was weird. Oh
I don't.
man.
Then the teddy bear, like I don't almost said used teddy bear, but you know what I mean. The worn teddy bear
Yeah.
that was missing the eye. I don't know if you picked up on that when that was brought up in
Yeah.
the moment. And then they find that eye on the window seal across their house.
Yeah. So messed up. Wow. Good Lord.
A lot of people are saying this is pretty creepy. It escalated. Yes, it did escalate. But do you see how, like, the first day you'd be like, oh, cute, Cupid me?
Yeah. And they could even almost maybe think maybe they had someone that they worked with or something that gave them this, or, God, that is so freaky. And
You think it was someone she knew, though? I really don't know.
I don't know. It could have been a neighbor. I wonder, what would have happened had she not put the note saying that the police have been called or contacted. Whew,
I don't know.
that was scary.
This story really creeped me out because, like, I don't know how I'd react. No one's ever admired me, for one. But for two, I'm a loser. And for three, I just don't know how I'd react. It'd be easy to say, like, I would just blow it off. But after the second letter, I would definitely be like, this is really weird.
Yeah.
Then the gift, like not a nice gift, just like, you don't give somebody a worn, terrible looking teddy bear.
Yeah, that's weird.
So you think the person, obviously they have something wrong with them to do something like this, but do you think it was truly a stalking situation, or do you think it was something less?
Oh, I think it was definitely stalking. Yeah, definitely stalking. That was something.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let us know in the chat what you think. A lot of people are referencing the Lord, saying Jesus. If someone left a note counting down the days, I'd be like, no way.
Wow.
When I first read this, I was thinking, like, what would have been next?
Yeah. What was day 4 going to be? Freaking severed finger or something? I don't know.
Well, they obviously listened, though. How did that make? I was like, wow, they listened. They didn't do anything more, but
yeah,
that would take away from the fact that you'd wonder forever, like, what the heck happened,
Definitely. Wow.
Good story, I thought, personally. Yeah, you're just saying, wow, you don't know what else to say.
I'm trying to think. That's so messed up.
It makes me consider ever gifting somebody, but I would never gift. Putting stuff in people's mailbox, I think, is kind of like odd.
Yeah, that's pushing it.
But you're in an apartment, she said, so I don't know. Let us know what you think. Would you leave something in somebody's mailbox to get their attention? I don't know. What happened to, like, getting flowers delivered or something,
Yeah.
You just jump to the stalker stage and you leave a freaking nasty teddy bear with a missing eye. But back to the seriousness of the matter. The eye being on the ledge in the window is creepy as hell. Because how did they get it there? Was it open and they gained access to it and placed it there?
I'm guessing so. She said
or did they get in and place it there?
Said she opened that window a lot to vent the steam.
Exactly. Or they put it in there when she was actually in the shower.
That's possible. Either way, a fucking nightmare. Good Lord.
I don't know.
Wow.
So let's go back to the line that I'm surprised you didn't pick up on and you're not bringing up. Crossing the line.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember the one time I crossed the line?
I do remember the time.
Should I tell that story live for what seems like?
I don't see why not.
So we know this guy, and I had an apartment with him for a while, and he kept having all these people over, and it was annoying, right? They'd be outside being loud. I think did I have school or something then? I don't remember, but I got sick of this. And one particular night, were you there or was Viv Games there?
I was there. I got mentioned.
Yeah. So we watched this movie and he has all these friends over again. And I tell Luke, I'm like, hey, go in the other part of the apartment and hide. Did I tell you what I was going to do at that point in time?
No.
I just said, go in there and stay in there for a while. So then I'm like, man, this is really annoying me. So I'm going to do something extreme. So I don't know. How many people do you think there were, Luke?
There was at least 10 or 15. It was a lot of people.
Outside. So I go in the bathroom and I strip down butt naked. And I go outside, walk through the group of them, and get inside my car and leave. But I said something. I don't remember what I said.
I can't remember what it was.
Have
you
a good
told
evening
me.
or something.
Yeah. Did
Yeah.
you drop your keys and then have to pick them up?
I think I may have dropped my keys and had to pick them up in front of them that's how I used to be. But he was very offended. And what did he tell me that I did?
He said you crossed the line.
Then there was the whole talk amongst us of how do I get to the right side of the line? I have to cross the line yet again to get back to the side of the line I should have been.
Yeah, like that's the
That was
only
wild.
way. Yeah.
Yeah. He was so offended. But yeah, cross the line. I crossed the line. So this person crossed the line just like I did.
Yeah. They definitely did.
Did those people ever come over again in that number of amount?
I don't know. I made sure I didn't end up over there again. So I don't
that may have been the end of us being there in general, huh? Wow. I crossed the line that night, everybody. Yep.
Yeah.
I might have dropped my keys. Yeah, I probably did something like that for sure. You got to make a statement. And what better way just to make it as awkward as possible for everybody?
Yeah.
It wasn't awkward for me at that point in time. I would do whatever, but yeah, I crossed the line that night, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't regret it.
There you go.
This individual should, though. It was creepy, leaving that teddy bear eye on the ledge of the windowsill. They should be ashamed of themselves.
That was so messed up.
Well, man, you have a part 2 of your Valentine's Day massacre from the lovely streets of Chicago.
Yeah.
If we have any Chicago people listening, let me get the music going again and you can jump back in. Hold on.
Sounds good. Am I coming through?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It kind of worries me that you're coming through this. It's not natural.
Yeah, just the old weirdness.
I think you're good now.
Alrighty. Okay. 10:30 a.m. morning of St. Valentine's Day, Thursday, February 14th, 1929. 7 men were murdered in a garage at 2122 North Clark Street in the Lincoln Park neighborhood of Chicago's North Side. They are shot by 4 men. They used weapons that included 2 Thompson submachine guns. 2 of the shooters were wearing police uniforms, while the other 2 wore suits, ties, overcoats, and hats. Witnesses saw the men in police uniform leading the other 2 men out at gunpoint out of the garage after the shooting. The victims included 5 members of Bugs Moran's North Side gang. Moran's second in command and brother-in-law, Albert Kachalek. He was killed alongside Adam Heyer, the gang's bookkeeper and business manager, Albert Weinshank, who managed several cleaning and dyeing operations for Moran, and gang enforcers Frank Gusenberg and Pete Gusenberg. 2 associates were also shot. Richard A. Schwimmer, a former optician turned gambler and gang associate, and John May, an occasional mechanic for the Moran gang. Chicago police officers arrived at the scene to find the victim, Frank Gusenberg, was still alive, despite having sustained 14 bullet wounds. He was taken to the hospital, where doctors stabilized him for a short time, and police tried to question him. When the police asked him who did it, he reportedly replied, "I won't talk." He died 3 hours later. There was one eyewitness who was not one of the people being shot at the St. Valentine's Massacre. It was a dog named Highball. He was tied to one of the axles of the trucks in the garage. Some say that it was his hysterical barking that finally brought attention of neighbors to actually show up at the garage. Unfortunately, he suffered from such a shock being that close to the gunfire and violence and possible mistreatment beforehand that it was determined that he should be put down because of his tendency to attack anyone near him. This is also a side ghost story for the area, that his mental shock left a psychic imprint on the property, and the dogs that walk near the area will bark uncontrollably. Bugs Moran was the intended target of the massacre. He was running late due to one reason or another and didn't make it there before the shooting happened. He was questioned by police about the massacre, and he told people the only person who kills like that is Al Capone. Capone, meanwhile, was vacationing and he was out of town, but he was similarly questioned. And he said the only person who kills like that is Bugs Moran. This marked the end of any threat from gangs to Capone's control of Chicago. The brutality of the massacre, though, put him on everyone's radar. The Chicago police can no longer deny that they had a gang problem, and so they began investigating him. The FBI didn't want to be involved. They wanted to not help too much. They dragged their heels a bit. But they did, at one point, question someone they believed was connected with the shooting. And he fingered a couple of potential shooting suspects. But, well, I'll deal with it more in a minute, but nothing came from this because the FBI did not give any of this information to the Chicago police. Within a year, an indictment was going to be served to Al Capone for money laundering and tax evasion. He was caught by other federal authorities for reasons unrelated to the shooting, but it was because of the shooting that so many people started looking into him. Within 2 years, he would be behind bars and eventually end up in Alcatraz. He would then, after leaving Alcatraz later, die in his home from syphilis. He never really got to reap the rewards of completely taking over the gangland after destroying what was left of the Northside Gang. There's, to this day, no official confirmation of who the 4 shooters were. A few people here and there were pointed out, including 2 of the Sicilian mob's top assassins who reportedly were in the United States at the time, but nothing could ever be proven. There's also no proof, as I had mentioned in the previous part, that Al Capone ever issued this killing. But as he was the only one that had anything to gain from the killing of Bugs Moran and his people, it was fairly obvious. This was also one of the first cases in which ballistics investigation was used to determine how many, what weapons were used to fire, and what direction the bullets came from, and various other things. It significantly catapulted ballistics investigation forward, which would then sweep the nation as ways of proving a bullet came from a specific gun, even. And they could use that for determining murder weapons and people who could have been the murderers. The killing also goes down as the basically the last big gasp of the Chicago outfit, because things settled down so much afterwards. It was a violent time, ended with an incredibly violent murder of 7 people. And in that murder, 70 bullets were shot. Each of them were hit with almost 10 bullets each. And it was so spectacularly gory that they decided to make it sort of a tourist destination for a time. The person who owned the lot he went in and touched up the bullet holes with red paint to make it look like blood that was left behind. So the fascination of everyone with scary and gory details has always been around and will be around for a long time, which is why we enjoy this show. But that concludes the aftermath of the St. Valentine's Day massacre, a senseless killing that led to the downfall of the biggest gang boss in Chicago.
He got to reap the rewards of that syphilis, though, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Maybe not anything else, but oh, Chicago. It's just so extreme, But
yeah,
once you're in so deep in something, I guess there's no going back. I got a weird mindset. You just have to be a different kind of person to execute something like that.
yeah. You gotta think about it. The absolute terrible weirdness about taking a human's life, but to magnify it in this way, where you line up 7 guys against the wall and you all mow them down, blowing them to pieces. Just so horrible.
Yes. Somebody said, dang, if he was shot that many times, I'd be like, screw it, I'm talking. Yeah, he got shot more times than 50 Cent. And he still wouldn't talk. He had nothing left. He was so afraid of this gang violence. He had nothing left to lose. He was already dying, and he still wouldn't talk.
To be fair, he was just shot by
family and other things.
Yeah, and he was just shot by a guy in a police uniform. So, like, he sees police questioning him. As far as he knows, the same guys that were shooting him.
Well planned.
Yeah.
A lot of effort went into planning this.
Like, to lead those 2 guys out at gunpoint afterwards to make it look like they arrested somebody. The whole thing, crazy.
There was a lot of talk and strategy that went into that plan that they did.
Yeah.
This is a famous thing in American history, though, for sure. And it's obviously going to always be connected with Valentine's Day. It might not be like a creepy teddy bear, but it's definitely scary to think about how, even being caught in the crossfire of that, or having a loved one involved in that or something. It's pretty frightening to think about.
Yeah. They killed his, brother. Bugs Moran's brother was one of the people that was killed there. So, yeah, you can imagine. Yeah, it's something else. And they dissolved the North Side Gang afterwards. Like, there was nothing left, basically, at this point. And
so what about the South Side Gang? Did it reap the benefits of the...
It did, but, Capone, he wasn't there for when they did.
Yeah.
But, yeah, they basically took control of all the distilleries in town. And
cool factoid about the ballistics, too. That's pretty cool. It's something you hear a lot about today. A lot of people question that science, but that's cool to think about. This was the thing where kind of got the ball rolling on that scientific way of thinking.
Yeah, definitely. It was new, and like they only did so much with it, and even though they couldn't solve who did it, they definitely learned a lot, which then later on solved other crimes.
Yeah. Learning experience and unfortunate situation. The dog thing was messed up too. I don't want to talk about that, but
yeah, that was unfortunate.
You have to have a deep level of hatred for somebody to go about that much.
Definitely.
Just a crazy way to live life, just a crazy lifestyle that they were in,
Yeah. This whole murderous vendetta against each other.
Yeah. And the prohibition did not help matters any with that.
No, because there was
this is not the only instance where violence occurred because of it, to be honest with you.
No, this is just one of those ones that kind of made it the people turn against the gangs. At the time, the people didn't really care because they knew the gangs fought each other, but they did so much for the common person that they didn't really care. But this turned everybody against them.
Yeah, it's a whole other level for sure. Man, that's a good visit back in history right there. I enjoyed that story as much as one can enjoy such a messed up story.
Yeah.
But I mean, a lot of people, and you'll see in the chat, but a lot of people, this is their first time hearing about it. So this is a pretty interesting introduction to the story for some people. Maybe they'll go check out more and learn more about it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Definitely think you should. I've always been a big fan of learning about gangsters and stuff like that from Prohibition era, and yeah, so like it's an interesting story. There's a lot there. There's a lot before.
Yeah. Oh, Luke, you're a gangster. All right. I've got one more story for the evening. It's the last story of the night. Should I get the music queued up and get it going?
Sounds good to me.
Can you hear me?
Uh,
Can you
can you hear me? Yeah, I can hear you now.
Good now?
Yep.
Okay. Again, last story of the evening. It's a story I was probably most excited to share, just to be honest with you. It's called Museum of the Dead. When the lockdown thing happened and my dating life went to hell in a handbasket, I used to swipe Tinder and other apps frequently, looking for girls to hook up with. So I'm bored one day when I come across this absolute smoke show of a girl who was listed under the name Lily. She had these big green eyes, wore pigtails in a lot of her profile pictures, and had absolutely no qualms about showing off her big, peachy ass. She also had this goth girl vibe going, which is something I find very attractive. I mean, she was definitely not the type of girl I'd bring home to mom and dad, but that's not really what I'm looking for when I'm swiping. Naturally, I swipe where boom, we match. No way, I told myself. She's a bot or isn't real. But it was real. But she was real. And she was so cute to talk to at first, anyway. But because so she was first to talk, she was nice and cute to talk to at first, but just at first, because things started to go a little different when we actually met up in person. She worked at this little coffee shop and asked me if I wanted to pick her up after work so she could take me somewhere real special. Which, well, actually turned out to be the Museum of the Dead on Hollywood Boulevard. I mean, not my ideal romantic place to go on a first date, but like I said, she was a slam piece, and it was basically impossible to say no to her because I wanted to smash her so bad. After I picked her up, she kept it a mystery for a while, only telling me to drive her to Hollywood Boulevard before revealing that she actually wanted to go to the Museum of the Dead. The area around the museum is kind of sketchy, but again, I would have drove in a way worse neighborhood for a date and to get with this girl. So I just pushed all my concerns to the back of my mind. Despite the interior being dark as dingy as it looked, kind of like an overall clustered basement that you would see in somebody's house, the whole thing was kind of interesting at first, but I'd be lying if I said my eyes stayed on the exhibits the whole time. My eyes are pretty much so glued on her fine ass. But the things that Lily started to say to me while we were walking around were very odd. Like I said, the exhibits were interesting, but that's all they were. Aside from being gross and spooky, lower death mass body parts being preserved, all the things you might come to expect from a place called Museum of the Dead. But this chick starts saying how pretty some of this stuff is. Looking at it in a way that another girl might look at like a picture of a puppy or something. She then starts asking me these weird questions about how I'd like to die. Yeah, how I'd like to die. I tell her, well, I wouldn't like to die at all, actually. It was the creepiest question I think I've ever been asked, and she insists that everyone has a way they'd like to die the most. I didn't want to screw up the date or anything. She seemed crazy, and crazy girls can be real fun, if you catch what I'm saying. So I give her some throwaway response, like whatever way is the most pain-free. She starts telling me how that was a boring answer and how she'd like to die of hypothermia, because apparently it makes you feel all warm and sleepy towards the end, and how some victims of hypothermia have even taken their clothes off before they die and just lay in the snow or wherever when their heart stops beating. She also then gave me this long, in-depth speech about how taking another person's life would be better than getting intimate with anyone. How that feeling of pure power must dwarf any feeling that drugs or alcohol or love can offer. She then tells me how hot she thought it would be to watch me drown at the bottom of a pool while there was an audience watching. I'm totally naked, and she would see my final moments of desperation before my body went limp and floated around. Then something about how the Vikings would make wings out of the skin off a person's back by peeling it off, spreading it out, calling it how beautiful it was. It was like art or something. I don't really know what she was talking about. But when she's done telling me all of that, I'm freaked out. She starts calling me her pet and how she wants to chain me up at the end of her bed so she could do whatever she wanted with me. But after what Lily had just talked about, I didn't think that she I didn't th- I really didn't think what she had in mind for me involved any sort of pleasure that I wanted whatsoever. When it came to driving her home, she actually told me to stop a few blocks away from her house because she didn't want me to know exactly where she lived, saying that you couldn't be too careful these days with psychos you meet on dating apps. Yep, she literally said that to me after she had spent an hour talking about all the ways she wanted me to die and herself to die, how she wanted to watch me to die. As soon as I got home, I blocked her number. I've never been more scared of anyone before in my life, let alone a girl I wanted to hook up with. So, Lily, if you're reading this, we will not meet again.
It was so much. Oh wow. Okay, so first off, I felt like it'd be great if we could cue up that Jim Ross like smash clip of him saying like my ass.
Yeah. I thought it was ironic because like, all this talk, right? But he's gonna smash her, just
Yeah,
all this degrading talk. He got pretty humbled.
yeah, you can't take the heat. Stay out of the kitchen, man.
He wanted freaky. He was getting real freaky.
Yeah.
I really, dude, I found this story to be absolutely hilarious.
I mean, that was awesome. That was so weirdly different.
Do you see what he's saying? Like he just kept ignoring the red flags, you know?
Yeah,
He had an objective, right?
yeah. He was definitely trying to stay on target, but
Viv Game says, I honestly expected him to say, Lily, if you're reading this, I'm still down if you are. Oh boy.
Yeah, that was yeah. You never know with that guy. He was.
I believe that story entirely. I mean, do you believe that story? I believe that story.
100%. I was actually watching Mythbusters the other day, and they went to the Museum of Death, or at least they sent someone out there. And there was a goth girl running the place. I wonder if it was the same girl. I wonder if she got a job there afterwards.
Yeah, her favorite place.
Yeah.
Dude, this story to me just was it was crazy, dude. I enjoyed it though. I feel like he definitely comes across like a tool, first of all, let's be honest.
Yeah.
And man, he really got it good, didn't he?
Yeah.
What about the details she went into how she'd like to watch him die?
That was messed up. That was weird. But then for her to not want him to know where she lived
Because you never know what psychos are on these dating apps.
Yeah. That's crazy. I wonder if she, I don't know, this is purely speculation, but maybe she just really didn't like the guy, and so she decided she was going to freak him the hell out.
Troll him like the whole time.
Yeah.
People in the chat like this one, dude. They get a kick out of it. But you wouldn't want it to happen to you, though, right?
No. That was
funny if it's not you.
Yeah. That was so crazy. I cannot believe that one. That one was nuts.
There was no smashing.
Definitely not. Not not for that couple. Wow, that was. I didn't expect that. When you started reading it, I was like, "What?" Because like normally it's like much tamer. That one went so nuts right away.
There was I can see like I related to him in some sense when he was like trying to give like really generic answers.
Yeah,
Because I've had somebody ask me like that, which is weird, right? But I think they usually say what would be the worst way to die. I don't think they usually say
Yeah.
your favorite way to die. You know, that's probably the opposite of what they say. But
I've
and-
had
and-
people ask like, "Would you rather die this way
yeah,
or
yeah,
this
yeah,
way?"
right, right. And you
And
automatically think of I wouldn't want to die that way because that'd be the worst. And so
yeah,
his answer is kind of like that, like the least painful, right?
yeah.
And hypothermia, her answer. Your thoughts on that?
Well, that was nuts. It's also funny because one of the stories that I eventually want to do involves people with hypothermia, or at least that's a possible explanation of what happened. But anyway, the whole like when they take off the clothes and stuff like that. Yeah, that was crazy. That person is definitely she's either an epic level troll at just screwing with this guy, or she is nuts.
Is this something that I should, if I ever have another first date, I should ask?
No, like ask it what their favorite way to die is. No,
Yeah. Well noted. I'll remember that then.
I guess it depends on if they have a really nice juicy peach ass.
Do you think that guy realizes there might be some karma with his
I don't believe he does.
I don't think so either. I never get that impression from the story at all. Like
No,
maybe
he
man,
never
like
wasn't apologetic in any way of what he was.
no. Oh my gosh, Peach. Wow. Yes, Viv Games, Peach Cobbler. Yes. I'm kidding. Viv Games did not say Peach Cobbler. Uh what a way to end the stories of the night.
It was wonderful. That was the best.
Let me pull up a video. We'll watch it real quick. Let's debate. Let's take this a minute to think about our favorite story of the night. We'll come back and talk about it.
Sounds good.
To relax here.
Done, just thought I'd check in. I know that you're not used to being on the losing side. You should have voted more like Patrick's wife. Shut up, Brittany. Make no mistake, Travis is secretly happy. His brother too, albeit a little snappy, smashed the phone. It sucks to have your fuse publicly blown. I don't blame you, Kels. Oh, this could come as a shocker, but I do love women. How'd you think I managed to secure the finest one? You need to step outside your bubble, take a big old whiff of dawn. Oh, Taylor, don't you feel silly? Falling for the blatant life. Kamala tricked you with shit pouring out her eyes. I'll be the president, you'll be a singer. It's a Trump story, pardon this finger.
Are you that amazed by the AI capability these days?
That is the single greatest thing I have. Am I frozen? Can you hear me?
I hear you, but you're froze.
Well, I'm not making that face anymore.
Oh
Damn
my
it.
God.
Why is it always
You did it
freeze on me
again, Luke, at the end. You did it again.
whenever I do something weird like that? It always says that.
Hold on. You might have to leave and come back.
Okay.
I will cover it in the meantime. That freeze. I love it so much. Certainly not affiliated with any sort of political thing, but I love the whole romantic Valentine's Day vibe of it. And I knew that Luke would be shattered with the AI capabilities these days. The reaction couldn't have gone over any better than what I'd planned. I'm very satisfied with what just happened, to say the least. That crazy that AI is capable of that, though. That was fun. Wow. That face, man. It's gonna be my new profile picture. I can't get over that. But no, awesome video. I even put the go back, rewind it, and the individual that made it, give him a subscription on Twitter. I mean, excuse me, on there might be his name on Twitter too, but YouTube, excuse me. It broke his camera. It may have broke his camera. It was the perfect face. He was just shocked for that whole minute of that. It's only like a minute and 2 second video, but his mind was blown. So I don't know if he's reaching out in any sort of other setting, Viv, but it's possible he might not make it back because of what just happened to him. We don't know that for sure. And I'll buy another minute or so, but this may have had such an impact on him that he's not going to be able to finish the episode. Wow. Yeah. Trump, Taylor Swift. It's a love story for sure. But where is little Luke at? Is he messaging in a group chat, Viv, or something? Or I still can't get over that face, man. That was so epic. Stuck on joining screen, apparently. We'll give another minute. Oh, he's worth the wait. We got to... we'll get this all get cut out in the post part, but we got a lot of people watching this. I hope you got to see Luke's face on that. If not, you really missed something special there. I don't know how he even did that. Stuck on joining, apparently. Oh man, another great episode for sure. Let's get him back in here. Are you there?
Yeah, I had to restart a bunch of things. It was weird.
So, I said it wasn't a political message for me or showing any support for anybody, but I knew I'd shock you with the AI and it's like a love Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
Well, that was a great ending song, by the way. But also, my favorite story is definitely that last one.
Oh,
that was amazing.
It was mine. I always vote for my own stories. I feel like a douche because you never vote for your own. But I really was saving that last story for a big punch. I knew it was going to hit well.
No, yeah, definitely. That was the best.
There's just so many different reasons why it was great. I mean, it's funny as hell. The guy was like a little bit of a tool if you're out there, listening to this. But it seems like a little bit of karma may have happened. But yet you find yourself in the most creepy situation on Valentine's Day. Besides, like, maybe the person was a serial killer or something. I don't know. Besides something out of a movie, this was up there on the creepy scale.
Definitely. Wow. That
people are asking for your favorite top 40 Valentine's Day movies.
I don't think
if you're new to the show, Luke broke out his top 150 favorite Christmas movies. We had to stop at like 70 or something. I'm over exaggerating, but that's actually a really funny question. So, we are all tools. Somebody said, "Yes, we are." Wow, I can't believe you froze on that face, man. You were just shocked when I dropped the AI on you.
I can't believe I froze either. That was so dumb.
We're live on like 7 places right now. Let us know what your favorite story of the night was. A lot of feedback right now is going to that last one. You can't, downplay the Valentine's Day massacre that you talked about.
No, but that was like a clinical dry story. It was meant to be. It was meant to be more of like, this is something that definitely, it was informative. Something definitely happened. And then, but those other stories were all great. And then that last one killed me. Oh man, that was so nuts.
This is the peachy ass reference and all that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy how more people are joining like now by far? It's just going up and up. I don't know. Maybe your face must have drawn in this audience. You're shocked.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was genuinely shocked. I was like watching it. I was like, I'm gonna request a link later. That way I can send it to a bunch of people.
AI is amazing, man. Yeah, another great night of stories. Valentine's Day themed, of course. I hope everybody has a great Valentine's Day. And nothing happens to them that were read in any of these stories because all 5 of these stories are okay. There were 4. My bad. You did 2-parter. Were something that you would not want to happen to you on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Well, The Valentine's Day Massacre is the worst. But which other of the three would you pick if you had to pick? Let me ask you a crazy question. If you had
If
to
I
pick
had-
one of the other three stories, you had to go through the cabin in the woods, the creepy stalker letter, or the girl obsessed with death. If you had to pick one, what would you do?
I am happily in a relationship, so I won't pick the last one, even though that would be hilarious. I would go with the cabin in the woods because I think I would probably try to mess the guy up.
If it was a guy, I guess.
If I had a
You could've
stick.
been the guy with the stick. I might have to go for the last one. I want to go to the Museum of the Dead. And,
Yeah, I mean,
that would be a story you could tell forever. Like,
yeah,
and it would never get old.
and
Nobody would ever get sick of that story every time you told it.
yeah, and then also you kind of have to do like a judgment call at the end because it's like, how good was that ass?
It's risky. Was it
Yeah.
worth it or not? I don't know. How good was that? What a great episode, dude. This was another fun one. It's good to get back at it.
It was.
The dates on the bottom actually need to fix. Those have been changed
Yeah.
just a little bit. But I have not done any editing lately, but we still didn't want to skip the live stream because there are a lot of you that watch it. So
The live
we'll get
stream's
to the
really
editing
fun.
one day. Work's just been crazy. But yeah, the live stream gets some viewership, so we didn't want to cut you out. It's the most
also-
fun part.
Yeah, it's the best way to watch it, really.
For sure. And you get to interact like these people are on these different platforms. Instagram and TikTok's no longer, it took away my stream key, but we don't really see the interaction there. But YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, they're all connected to this application. So we see the comments as we go along. Kick is out there too, but I got to look that up as I go along through it. But yeah, we appreciate everybody that watched it live. And if you check it out later, of course we do. Your thoughts on Valentine's Day before we wrap this up?
I like it low key myself, so like I'm looking forward to just watching a movie and having some popcorn in bed.
You're not renting an Airbnb in the woods?
God no. that's too risky now.
Yeah.
I don't have a stick with me, and so yeah. But I like having a nice low key Valentine's Day. I hope everyone has a fun Valentine's Day, however they celebrate it.
Crying. Yeah, I'll just be crying. So don't worry about me.
You always call us.
I might have to listen to these stories again. That
There
might
you
cheer
go.
me up for sure. I'm kidding, but seriously, man, it was another fun night. Way to get back into it. So
Yeah.
next episode, I sent the date. I got to fix the bottom. I don't want to tell you the wrong date. Let me look. But you want to tell them what we're doing on the next one? Do you remember?
The next one is the second of the story from that police officer, right? The one that did the older lady that we did some time ago. That was probably 8 months ago now.
At least, yeah. So
Yeah,
it's
we did
another
this-
something else scary happened when that small town cop.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking-
February 17th. We will be sharing another police horror story. And that, like I told you, is every week the most downloaded episode on the podcast listening apps.
That one was a crazy one.
Every freaking week to this day, that continues to be the most downloaded. So people must be looking for police scary stories. And we're going to be, and it's commented on the YouTube as well. We're going to break down his next event that he had happen to him. So I'm excited.
Yeah, that was going to be a fun one. I'm looking forward to it.
So February 17th, it says it at the bottom. We're kind of right. There will not be a stream next week because we're doing it this week. But yeah, more to come on that. But yeah, make sure you tune back in for, it's going to be a 4-part. We'll break it down into 4 sections throughout the episode, but it'll be a fun time. So we encourage you to do that. If you have a story of something you want to share, you could find us on social media, of course, or yourscarystories.com. You can submit your scary story there. Check out the previous episodes and the live stream schedule. Anything else that I'm missing before we end this one?
No, I think you got it all.
Again, I hope you all have a good Valentine's Day and nothing like that happens to you. But until then, keep being you and keep being great.
Jeff Townsend Media. CG, good night.
And the question is, do I stay here? Will you be back?
Are you gonna come back? Will you be back? Are you coming back?